Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It is the Daily Dish, and welcome to my cold day here in Brevard, living in a rainforest, having some rain. That's just how it works. So anyway, I'm still enjoying it, obviously not playing pickleball today. You don't play pickleball in the rain, but I'm here. Hello. Good to have you here. Jocelyn, so lovely to see you. Jocelyn is one of our star Hot Melt 30ers. So glad that you're here. And I am so glad that you are finishing up the week with me. It's the end of the week for us here at Saving Dinner. Hi, Jeanette. Lovely to have you. And Jackie, it's nice to have you here live. So this week we've been talking about loving ourselves. A difficult concept at times to understand how this all works because, we hear it. Sometimes it's a platitude. People dish it out. And then the actuality of having to do the work of what this is a little bit confounding. I found it that way anyway. Martha and Jane, lovely to have you here. And Nancy's here. Cheers, Nancy. Kathy in the house as well. Lovely, 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 lovely. It's nice to have you here. And Alice as well. Anyway, so we are going to go into the last part of this series that we've been doing this week on loving yourself. And we're going to talk about this concept of unconditional love. It's a big one. It's a doozy. So I hope you hang in there with me. That's one. Secondarily, this Saturday is full bloom. We are a few days away. And I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm going through all of my notes and polishing them all up. The fact is, I cannot wait to share with you what is living in full bloom is all about. Well, this whole, our theme this time for full bloom, by the way, virtual, it starts at 9 a.m. Eastern, goes all the way throughout the whole day, is living a life of abundance by understanding that you are more than enough. And this takes us past the place of just being enough and into the place of now knowing you're enough and more than enough, and how this can impact the way that you live your life. And we want it vibrantly, don't we? We want it fully, full-hearted, really wholehearted. We want it purposeful. We want it vibrantly, fully bloomed. That's what we're talking about. And, I just can't wait because this is juicy stuff. I learned a lot from the research on doing this, and I simply cannot wait to share it with you. So if you don't have your ticket yet, remember, there's one thing you can always count on with any full bloom that you come to, whether it's in person or whether it's virtual, and that is the recording. You get that forever, and you can keep that forever. And one of the things that I do share with you at the very beginning is how to take notes and how to watch the timestamps to get stuff, the nuggets that you might want to go back to. So that's part of the cool thing. savingdinner.com/bloom is how you go and you get your tickets. And I see you all kind of coming in there, but now's the time. We're getting down to brass tacks here, people. Let's do it. Let's have the best full bloom yet. And it all starts when you decide that this is for you. Okay? So go check that out. Secondarily, our skincare. Y'all, I love good skincare. I love it on the inside out as well as the outside in. And it all matters because this is a good loop to put your skin through. And what we have found is, first of all, the vitamin C on your face is an antioxidant, which means that it's going to help with fine lines. It's going to help with the condition, the thickness of your skin. It's going to help nourish your skin on the outside in. The problem with vitamin C serums is most of them are rancid because vitamin C is extraordinarily unstable. Not ours, because it's encapsulated with vitamin E. Now this is creamy. It's a I'm going to show it to you. Look, this is what it looks like. Just one little dot. And do you see how thick it is? And the smell, it's, definitely. And I'm going to put it on my neck because I already have it on. Well, I already have it on my neck too, but a little extra doesn't hurt. It's creamy, silky, and it just sinks right in. It goes deep. I love this stuff with all of my heart. You can get right down there into your décolletage, as my mother trained me to do as a young girl. Yeah, and then anytime I have any kind of skincare left over, I always do the top of my hands. The top of our hands age quickly. So why not get that going? If you buy our Vibrant C plus E, we will send you a $50, basically a $50 bottle of Beauty Support. Beauty Support is the supplement that has been scientifically proven and shown to help you produce more collagen. As we get older, our production of collagen slows way the heck down. This is why we have to supplement with it. So we supplement with it. We do all the good things. We do our perfect paleo protein. We take our bone broth, right? And we up our protein. But in order to get it even to the next level, we want to make sure that we're able to create more ourselves. And that's exactly what the supplement does. So we're taking it in and we're supplementing with it, double whammy. If you go to savingdinner.com/BOGO, you're going to get this deal. It's $50, y'all. 50 buckaroonies. And it's only for till Sunday, and then it's gone. So don't miss out on this. I saw a lot of you are taking advantage of this. It's as long as supplies last too, as well. Hi, Deborah. So I'm telling you about this because I just want to make sure you don't miss out on it. It's one of the best things we've got. Also, our Crave Water, you know about this exactly, right? Crave Water right here, right here. This is L-glutamine, just like this, exactly same thing, same scoop, 4 grams, but in it, we have a little bit of citric acid, a little MCT oil, and touch of stevia. Notice I said touch. I don't like things too sweet, and I especially hate the taste of overpowering stevia where you're just going, oh, what's that about? For the most part, I've avoided stevia because I didn't like it. But if you know how, first of all, one, you need to make sure that the supplier that you're working with, like we are, has a good stevia. There's all kinds of qualities of stevia out there. There's some really rotten stuff out there, by the way. Number 2 is you don't need so much. And that's exactly what you get with this. And when you mix it up, you get a lemonade flavor. It's delicious. It's not chalky. It's not, that icky flavor. And it's going to crush your cravings. I don't care what you're trying to crush, what craving you're trying to crush, or compulsion, or whatever. It gets that part of the brain and satisfies it, so it's not going to go keep repeating, the loop, the negative loop of a craving, of a compulsion. It stops you. It stops you because it takes care, it soothes that area of the brain. It's huge. And it's scientifically proven that L-glutamine will do that. This is just making it so that it tastes good and you're going to do it a couple of times a day for some of you for just starting out. And just check it out. I'll show you exactly how to make it too. It's on the video page that I'm sending you to right now. savingdinner.com/crave water. Yay. And last but not least, don't want you to forget about the Etsy store. We have all kinds of cute full bloom swag. Your sweatshirts, your t-shirts, your mugs, your stuff. Cute stuff. Have you looked at it? savingdinner.com/Etsy. It's our boutique, y'all. This is where we go for our cool stuff. And I will tell you, Amber has designed all of that So you know it's going to be cute. It's not just some rando stuff. It's all designed with you in mind. You're going to love it. Hi, Sandy. So that, and then last but not least, you're buying, $300 worth of supplements in our store, Lincoln's. See, Lincoln? Guess what you're going to get? You're going to get free shipping. It's on us. It's for the lower 48 only. Unfortunately, we can't do it for Alaska and Hawaii, but we can do it for the lower 48. And when we do, it's just our big thank you to you, because you make a big difference in my life and everyone else who works here, by the way. Hi, Anne. I'm glad you're here. And lastly, did you see our quote of the week? You know how I like to mess around with quotes. So I'm going to give you, the quote of the week is talking about men, but I say, well, let's talk about women. The only women who never make mistakes is, the only woman who never makes a mistake is the woman who never does anything. Theodore Roosevelt said that. That just applies across the board, all humans. We have a tendency to get a little risk apprehensive of risks, right? We don't do anything. Lincoln, come on, stop it. Just chilled out, doggy. He's under the table scratching and doing whatever. His ears are bothering him a little bit. He's been doing some swimming. I have to clean them all the time and put stuff in them. Anyway, so that's my tales of woe with my doggy. All right. So that's what we have going on today. Take advantage of all of these things. And don't forget, you can always check the announcements page if you forget what it is that you're interested in. That's at savingdinner.com/announcements. Meanwhile, we're going to still talk about loving yourself. Did you know in the Bible, there are 123 verses that reflect this concept of loving yourself? 123. So when somebody comes at you and says, well, that's not a very, godlike thing to do or biblical thing to do, love yourself, the Bible never says anything about that. You can say, well, hold on a minute. Hold the phone. I've got news for you, pal. Here you go. There's 123. 123 verses. Here's one of my favorites. And I'm not going to say he, I'm going to say she, because I know who you are. I know my audience. She who gets wisdom loves her own soul. She who keeps understanding will find good. Isn't that beautiful? And so true. She who keeps understanding will find good. How do we keep understanding? How do we get wisdom? How do we love our own soul? Well, I believe what we're talking about here is unconditional love. And that is a lofty achievement, isn't it? It's a lofty goal for anyone to get to this place of actual, true, unconditional love. Is this something that only God is able to do? Is this something that we also are qualified to do? Well, we're going to take a look at that, because I believe if we look at what the definition of unconditional means, it means as humans, as humanly possible as we are, if we can love somebody without wanting to change them and accept them fully, then we are unconditionally loving someone, right? That means that during rough times, during times where it's difficult, maybe even to live with this person, it means that it's not measured by achievement, but measured by their soul, measured by the fact that we can love their soul as much as we love our own. And when we can turn this unconditional love on ourselves and understand that that's truly what it is all about, it's about acceptance. It's not about demanding change from yourself. It's not about measuring your achievement. It's not about any of this. It's constant, relentless love that exists regardless of the circumstances. I mean, that's radical acceptance right there, isn't it? Isn't it? So in the religious context, unconditional love is oftentimes exemplified in Christ's love for the church. We hear this all the time. And I like to be a little more inclusive, because not everybody is a Christian, and But most everybody has a concept of God and understands that God's unconditional love is vast and bigger than something that we can even comprehend or understand. So if we can understand that, again, that love is unwavering and unconditional love is unwavering, regardless of faults, regardless of shortcomings, we can start to grasp this idea that unconditional love is a possibility, and it is also boundaryless, isn't it? And boundless. So we can take this self-love then that we're talking about and add the unconditional part to it, because that translates into loving and accepting yourself as you are. Period. End of story. That means that you don't have to earn your way into loving yourself. You don't have to have the right appearance, the right achievement, or any other external factor that puts the stamp of approval of loving yourself wholeheartedly, without bounds, and without conditions. And the thing that we have to understand too, and you all know this, I know this, it is a journey to get there. It is I don't even think you do actually get all the way there. It's kind of a creeping type of a process, right? And I've got 10 things that we can do, because love is an action word, by the way. To love someone, to love yourself, is a verb. And that means that you don't just sit there contently, oh, I just love myself. It means that there's some action attached to it. There are things that you have done that have underscored this truth. And as we do this, it helps to bring this truth to the forefront, especially if we are maybe disbelieving this a little bit or discounting that, and that's for everybody else and not for me, those kind of a thing. So we have to start with this radical concept of self-acceptance, because, we have to embrace our personalities, because that's who we are. And regardless of where we are, and accepting our physical features, accepting our whole being, heart, mind, body, and soul, is radical acceptance. Until we get to that place, which is foundational, then we can't move past this unacceptance. So self-acceptance has to be absolutely locked in, has to be. And we can remind ourselves daily, one of my biggest tricks, you've seen it, the 3x5 card, to remind myself of who I am, and whose I am and why this is important. And to remind myself that, this is a journey. I have not created this amazing destination. I'm on a journey, just like you. We're all on journeys. And that is the beauty of our humanity, isn't it? We do it together. Number 2 is self-compassion. Self-compassion is loving yourself up even when it's difficult, and giving yourself a break, giving yourself some grace, hugging yourself a little bit. Because, our usual thing is to resort to the self-criticism and the beating ourselves up and all the other stuff. But if we think about it, the way we love somebody who's close to us and the way that we are compassionate toward them and comforting toward them, what would it be like if we did that to ourselves? What would that be? It would be unconditional love, is what it would be. And that's the beauty of God sharing that with us in the first place, so we can model it and be just like He is with us. It's incredible. The amount of grace is just never ending. The beauty of that kind of grace is the thing that touches our very soul, if we allow it to. And number 3 includes the self-care. That's self-care. Think about those of you who are mothers, think about bringing that baby home from the hospital and the care, the little umbilical cord and dabbing the alcohol. I remember, sorry, it's been 30 something years since I've had to do that. But the way we took care of that baby, and constantly feeding the baby and exhausted all the time, and whatever, but we wrung ourselves out for that baby. Now's the time to wring ourselves out for ourselves. We know what it is to give and to give. If you can do this back to yourself after all this sacrificial time, your soul will flourish. The nourishment from this will elevate your ideas, your notion of what loving yourself is all about. We also have to add in there the positive self-talk. Remember, what is positive self-talk except creating new neural pathways in your brain? That's what this is about. And if we consciously choose to speak to ourselves with kindness, instead of saying, you're a failure, you can look at it and say, I am learning and I am growing from this experience. There's a teacher here. There is a lesson. My experience file is filling up. You see the difference? I mean, it's not negating the fact that something didn't work out. It's just loving yourself in spite of the fact that it didn't work out. And we can do this when we start the positive self-talk, both inside our heads and what comes out of our mouths. Remember, when we say I am, we are commanding our brains to a certain thing. Remember? We're going to talk a whole lot more about that in full bloom. And boy, do I have some stuff to tell you about affirmations that are just going to blow you out of the water. But this is crucial that we do this kind of positive self-talk. And then number 5 is we have to look at our boundaries. Got boundaries? We all need them. Healthy boundaries are important because healthy boundaries say, I respect myself. I am worth putting this boundary up. And it makes sure that our needs are taken care of and our expectations of what it is that we want are part of the equation. So allowing others to take advantage of you, that's not loving. That's not loving yourself especially. And it's not loving the other person either, because you do it with resentment. You do it with anger and bitterness. Usually I would, until I finally realized a boundary needs to happen here. You can put a boundary up at any time. It's free to do, by the way. It's free. You just need to use your I am needing to fill in the blank. Put up a boundary here. You see, Linky? My doggy. Number 6 is forgiveness. Do you need to forgive yourself? I do. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I recognize, that's part of the human experience. But it doesn't stop me from saying, oh man, that was dismal. That was awful. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish it wasn't like that. But we have to let go of the guilt and the regret that comes from making the mistakes in our lives, because guess what? You are human. I am human. We're going to do it, and we're going to have more as we go. Part of the whole thing. Yes. So if we do this, guess what we do? We find ourselves in a place of softness, of giving ourselves just a little bit of grace, of allowing for this to pass through instead of living in this locked prison of regret. We don't need this. We don't need that. It's painful and it doesn't help. Gratitude, always gratitude. I mean, I have noticed that when we have a practice of gratitude, and even gratitude for the women that we are, where we are right now, and just appreciation for our lives and the modicum of pleasure that we have in our lives. Have you noticed how much difference that makes in the way that you view yourself? Yeah, I do. I see this for myself. I see it for everybody that I know. It it colors your lens a little bit differently. You see things differently. The gratitude and thankfulness of doing this is just beyond. It is beyond what it is that it's just beyond. And I will tell you, your gratitude practice along with your meditation practice, all of these things help to create the swarm capsule, if you will, of finally loving yourself, of not dismissing yourself so much, and walking into this place of unconditional love for yourself. And number 8 is personal growth, because honestly, we all are going to strive to become better versions of ourselves. That's part of our journey, aren't we? Of course we are. And we don't do it because we feel inadequate. We do it because we know that there's more waiting for us. And the more that we are at service, if you will, to whatever the life is bringing us, then we're going to start seeing ourselves a whole lot different. We'll see ourselves as a continual student, always learning, becoming more, being able to have more empathy, more love, because this is what, when we're nurturing this personal growth, that's how we become and grow into all of that. And number 9 is to celebrate your achievements, because this is an achievement. If you underscore the things that you, when you do things right, instead of just ignoring them, because what do? We get all over ourselves about when we do things wrong. And when we do something right, we just like, oh well, whatever. But if we start to just say, I'm going to give myself grace for this thing that I did wrong, and start saying, yeah, I did that, yay, things start to change. And the love that we feel for ourselves spills out over onto others too. Yeah? Have you noticed that? I have, big time. And then I want to encourage you, the last thing is to have quality time with yourself. Quality time with yourself, like just a dedicated time to doing something that you love. If you have handwork that you like to do, or some time to read, meditate, even relax, walk in the grass, take a walk around the lake with your doggy. I celebrate that every single day. It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's unbelievable. Loving ourselves every single day can be a difficult assignment, because we're used to beating ourselves up. We're used to saying, oh man, I did this X, Y, and Z and this, that, and the other thing, and it's not good. But when you are lined up for unconditional love, it means that you see your inherent worth right away. You see it, and you love yourself in the ups and the downs, just as like a divine entity, God, might do for you as well. This is the love that we need to model. So this journey then of unconditional love is one of acceptance and kindness and unwavering consideration of someone you know very dearly, and that's yourself. And that's our show. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for this week. I hope you enjoyed this little series that we did on loving yourself, breaking it all down and taking a look at how that works out and how it blooms in your heart. To me, it was super helpful. I enjoyed it. If you didn't, I did. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me all this week. Remember, any announcements that you need are going to be found at savingdinner.com/announcements, number 1. And number 2 is tick, tick, tick. That's the clock. It is time to get into the place of getting your Full Bloom ticket. Full Bloom's happening, baby. It is this Saturday. I hope you're going to be there. Hi, Sandy. I just saw that you bought a ticket, so I'm excited that you're going to be there. Did you see what she said? She said we can't have love for others until we love ourselves, and that's God's truth, by the way. God's truth. Jeanette's learning to love herself. I love that. Yes, ma'am. We all are. We're all on this trajectory together of learning and being the women we're called to be, right? And that's part of it. I'm excited. Saturday is going to be around the corner. Go get your ticket at savingdinner.com/bloom. Until then, I'll see you Saturday if you're going to be there for Full Bloom. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday for Motivational Monday. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, You are the author of your own story. Until next time.